I actually got Viking tattoos on my hands in Elder Futhark, which is the actual what they used to carve into rocks or weapons or their shields and stuff, and it translates to hard to kill. So
that's
which is literally like I took that moniker after that.
Yeah.
I should be dead.
What's up, everybody? It's Corey Graves. It's been a while since we've done this. It is Superstar Inc., and I have searched high and low to the depths of the Monday Night Raw locker room and found two of the most heavily decorated athletes I could. Eric and Ivar are here. Let's get to it. We've known each other for 1,000,000+ years. You and I have been more recently become friends. You guys obviously have a long, storied history, much of which is tattooed permanently on your body. So let's talk tattoos, man. You have a tattoo of great significance as far as your evolution in the wrestling business.
Yeah, well, you guys were back all baby-faced and not tatted up. I started training in 2001, and for the first 10 years of my career, I was Handsome Johnny.
Handsome Johnny.
Very different. Clean-shaven, long hair, singlet, very different.
Show them the dance.
Oh,
There's a dance?
The taunt.
there's a lot, but there's this one right here. Where I'm just kind of, I'm not gonna stop until it's awkward enough.
It's real uncomfortable because he'll do this
give
literally
up.
for 10 minutes straight.
So walk me through the evolution from Handsome Johnny to the man we now know.
So in 2011, I had major shoulder surgery.
Okay.
Where they told me I wasn't going to wrestle again. This needs to be a theme of both of our careers. And somewhere in that time period, as I was recovering from the injury, I said, man, screw it. I'm going to do something in this business, but I got to make a change. And that's where I decided to grow my beard out and change my entire persona into the Warbeard Hanson, which has now become Ivar. But to symbolize what I went through, that transformation, I got a tattoo of a koi dragon on my leg, which in Japanese culture, it signifies change.
Okay. So
The transformation of a koi swimming upstream, making up the waterfall, and transforming into a dragon.
So you kind of like backed yourself into the wall, like I'm gonna do this. I'm changing
Yeah.
completely. So much so that I'm gonna permanently put it in my skin.
Yes.
Admirable. I like that. Not necessarily the wisest decision, but it worked out. Okay.
It did work out.
You mentioned the injuries, and I know there's a lot of significance in your tattoos as well, from potentially catastrophic, life-threatening, if not career-threatening injuries.
For me, it's on my shoulder. As I was out for 7 months with my cervical injury, where I was temporarily paralyzed, and able to come back as quick as I could, get back in the ring. During that time period, I got this tattoo on my shoulder. And really, it's just a cool tattoo. And now every time I look in the mirror and I see that tattoo, it reminds me of my journey of where my life and my career could have ended. But I was able to persevere and make my way through.
And you guys do the tag team thing to the fullest. So much so that you also nearly died and have great tattoos as a result.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely a theme. In August of 2014, we had just become a tag team. We were just starting to kind of get rolling and get this national buzz. And I was riding my motorcycle, and a car pulled out in front of me, and I T-boned him going 55 miles an hour. I went up over my handlebars, punched out the back window with my face, breaking my nose, slashing my eye, completely shattering my left arm. Every medical professional that I talked to said that I should have died that night. The EMTs actually that showed up on scene had a body bag ready because they heard the accident report and they just assumed that I was dead. And I texted him and I was like, hey, I don't know how long this is gonna keep me out. And then they were telling me like I would never lift again, I would never wrestle again, I would never be able to throw a punch again, all of these things. And like they surgically rebuilt my arm. I was back in 6 months. And like to go from like career ending, you'll never wrestling again, anything, we were back together in 6 months and off and running. And really it was after that our career skyrocketed.
To your point, I've known you way before the Viking thing.
Absolutely.
I've only known as a Viking, so this is very interesting. So what was it that appealed to you to kind of really lean into that?
I've been a nerd my whole life, right? Reading Dungeons and Dragons books and fantasy stuff and Lord of the Rings and all this stuff. I was always interested in it. And then when he and I teamed together, he was this Warbeard, the barbarian kind of, more like a Conan the Barbarian type than a Viking. We had been, not really successful in wrestling as a singles, but we started catching fire as a tag team. When we did, I tried to bring more of the Viking influence because I was really into the mythology and I was really into that stuff. But then Sarah and I started getting into Viking historical reenactment and Viking combat, and like she and I like kind of dedicated our lives. We had a Viking wedding, and because of that, that's kind of now blended like life outside the ring with inside the ring, and just become a Viking in all aspects. And I was like, screw it. Like,
Go all in.
we're going.
Yeah.
And just kind of like push the envelope.
Yeah.
So like it's not just a character, it's more become literally who we are. It's this crazy thing that like has just enveloped our lives so much now that I'm getting it inked onto my skin. And I've got all kinds of Viking tattoos.
Well, I know
and I'm-
you were explaining to me earlier that you have a tattoo that signifies your tourism around the world.
I started my first tattoo ever, and we were together. We were in England. And my plan is to get the flags of every country that we wrestled to wrap around my leg.
Okay.
So it started there, and I got 4 flags: Canada, England, Japan, and U.S.
Have we added to that since?
Mexico and Ireland, and I haven't gotten one since I've been in WWE. So there's several that must be added.
As long as I've known you, I don't think we've ever actually discussed most of your tattoos. Like I said, I knew you prior to tattoos.
Yeah.
Fast forward a few years, and here your chest's done, and I know the whole straight edge thing is very important to you. But you came back, and I was like, is that the same guy? Oh yeah, it's the same guy, different look. But what has inspired you for most of your tattoos?
When I was a little kid, my uncle had tattoos. And I was like, man, I want tattoos. So when I was like, I'm always drawing on myself or whatever. My mom hated tattoos. Like, absolutely hated tattoos. So I went to college, I was 18, and I got my first tattoo. And it was actually a Viking rune on the back of my neck, right?
Okay.
And that was the first one. And I hid him from my mom. And I would go home and I'd always have a full shirt on. I loved tattoos, but I was always trying to hide them. And then she found him one day. I don't remember what happened, but she cried and we had a long conversation. I said, Mom, I'm gonna get tattoos. I always had this like good versus evil thing, and I wanted angels and demons on my arms. For a long time, I didn't get a straight edge tattoo. But then eventually I was like, dude, it's not even a thought. It's just who I am.
Right.
Like I'm 36. I'll be 37. Like I haven't had a drink since I was 14. Like it just is what it is. So I've got this giant X, True Till Death. I've got a big straight edge tattoo here. So like that's just part of who I am. But then at the same time, I have a Harry Potter tattoo because I'm a dork. And
It's okay to be multifaceted,
yeah,
man.
I love it. But I love it.
But you're undertaking a new process. Rather than shedding skin, you're just gonna redo it.
Oh yeah,
Repaint it.
I'm most of the time you get a tattoo and you're done.
Yeah.
You're like, well, cool. Don't have to do my hand. You've got your hands. You've got whatever. So you're like, well, that one's done. No, I'm actually in the process of letting a real life Viking redo my sleeves.
Just for anybody that's listening, you specified a real life Viking.
Yeah, like he lives as a Viking. Like
Okay.
he still worships the old gods.
Okay.
He practices rune magic. He lives in like this little teeny tiny town on the Welsh coast, but he is one of the most amazing artists I've ever seen. He knows Viking history and Viking historical art so well that I can tell him, hey, I want this story.
Okay.
And he will create a tattoo with the knotwork and with the creatures, so it's an actual historically based tattoo. He did 14 hours of tattoos on Sarah, and Sarah just told him, I want the story of Tyr sacrificing his hand to Fenrir, and I want something of Skadi, who was the Viking huntress god.
Okay.
So, and he just created it. And like he does it in like the old style of like dot work. So he's actually in the process of doing this, and he's making a scene where Thor went fishing for the world serpent, and then he ended up catching him. And so he started that. The bullhead's here, and, some of this knotwork represents like the fishing line and just different stuff. And this is the world serpent, and he's going to take this all the way up. He's going to do this one.
You need to take him and you get a Welsh flag tattoo.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
You have any plans? You got some real estate to work with here. You have anything planned or potentially en route to being placed on you forever?
I need to finish this leg. It's all Japanese related. And then I have to finish the flags over here. And then I'm not sure if I'm going to put something on the opposite shoulder.
Do you have any more tattoo experiences together as a duo?
Yeah, when we were traveling in Japan, then we all went to a tattoo shop in Harajuku and we all got tattoos at the same time.
And it was cool because the Japanese style tattoo and how iconic that is.
Right.
But there's also like a very strong cultural taboo
Right.
over there. So like there were times when we couldn't go certain places because of our visible tattoos. So for us, it was kind of a cool thing to get tattooed there because it is it's this weird gray area of their culture where they're celebrated and they have this really strong art history. but it's also very counterculture. And then it's like a story that kind of this thing that we all have that like moment in time, like together, and it's on your body. I think that's one of the coolest things about the tattoos that we've gotten different places, or like gotten tattoos significantly, because it's like forever this moment in time.
Yeah, it is. It's a moment in time that you now have. It's better than a
share it
photograph.
forever.
It's forever. Yeah.
Well, Eric, I know you've had a big new addition in your life. What are the odds that that will end up being represented on your person somehow?
100%. Like 100%. So, and the funny thing is, I wanted to get a Johnny Cash tattoo for a long time, and I just didn't know which Johnny Cash tattoo, or
Right.
how. So it's kind of always been in the back of my mind, and we named our son Cash. Like, I'm not crazy about portrait tattoos, so I don't know that I want to do a portrait, but I might get like footprints, or I'm not sure.
I can't wait to see how your tattoo journeys continue to progress. But until then, for Ivar and Eric, the Viking Raiders, I'm Corey Graves. Thank you guys for hanging out on Superstar Inc.